Hello and welcome to our review for Accelerated Math, our first Chapter 1 quiz. Remember that you can pause this at any time, write out the problem, figure it out for yourself, and then check your answer with me if you choose to do that. Okay, so we're going to start off with finding the square of each number. Now remember, when you square something, you're just applying the exponent, square 2. Okay, when you square, it means you're multiplying it by itself. So 4 squared can be written as 4 to the second power, which means 4 times 4. So 4 times 4 is 16, and that is your solution. That is 4 squared. We'll do the same thing for 12. 12 squared, we can write it out as 12 to the second power, which is the same thing as 12 times 12. Remember, 12 times 12 is 144. And there's your solution to that one. The next problem we have is finding the square root. Now, if you remember in your notes, we wrote down a whole list of square roots. And a square root is when you have two identical factors that are going to give you the number underneath this radical here. So the two identical factors for 64 would be 8 times 8. So the square root of 64 is 8. And now we come over to the square root of 289. Now this one is one that you probably would not have memorized, but using your chart, you find that 17 times 17 does equal 289. So the square root of 289 is 17. When you get stuck on these, find one you know. For example, you know 10 times 10 is 100. You know 289 has to be quite a bit more. And just keep working up one number from there. You know 12 times 12 is 144. 13 times 13 is 169. Just keep working up or doing your math on the side, okay, until you find that number that works. The next problem we have is write each power as a product of the same factor, then find the value. So this one actually has two different parts to it. The first thing we're going to do is write it as a power as a product of the same factor. So here's our power. Product of the same factor means that I'm going to show some repetition. And the factor that I'm multiplying is the base, and that base here is 3. So the first part of my problem will be to write out 3 to the 4th power. Remember, your 4 tells you how many times to multiply the 3. So I have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, and that is writing it out as a product of the same factor. Now we're going to go ahead and find the value, and when we find the value, you're just working out the problem. So we know 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. Multiply 9 times 9 together and you get 81. And so this is the second part of your solution. Okay, knowing the difference between following these two sets of directions is going to be very important to you tomorrow on the quiz. The next type of problem we have is to write each product using an exponent. So if you look at this, this looks similar to writing it out as a product of the same factor. So now we're just going backwards. And you'll remember, if you look back here, when we write it out as a product of the same factor, the base, it's what's being multiplied over and over. And I multiplied 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and that's my exponent. So looking at this problem, my base would have to be the number that's being multiplied continuously, and that's 6. And I'm multiplying 6, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And so I have 6 to the 4th power, and that's all you have to do. It just says write it as a product, write each product using an exponent. So that's all you have to do for that one. Now we're getting into using the order of operations. And if you remember from our notes, the first thing you're going to do is parentheses. The second is exponents. The third is to multiply or divide, but remember you have to go from left to right. Okay, don't forget that, it's very important. And then the last step is to add or subtract, and then once again from left to right. So looking at this problem, I have parentheses, so that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to erase this over to the side so I have some room. So my parentheses are 7 minus 3. 7 minus 3 is 4. So my new problem now is going to be 2 times 4, and remember this fraction bar means division, by 2 squared. Okay, now the next step is to do exponents. So I'm going to go ahead and do my exponent. 2 to the second power means 2 times 2, which is 4. And above that, I have still 2 times 4. Remember, there's no operation, it means multiplication. Now, because I have this division sign and it covers from the 2 and the 4, I need to make sure I multiply these, before I divide by 4. Okay, it's not saying 2 times 4 divided by 4. It's saying that I need to multiply this entire thing before I divide. So I know 2 times 4 is 8. I'm going to bring this down here. And now I'm left with 8 over 4, or 8 divided by 4, and 8 divided by 4 is 2, and that's my solution. Okay. Now once again, we're doing the same thing. I have my parentheses here, which has to be done first. Now notice how there's more operations in the parentheses than just one. So you're using the order of operations within the parentheses. So I have an exponent, I have addition and multiplication, and I know according to order of operations I have to do my exponent first. So I'm going to do 3 times 3 first, which is 9. And as always, guys, you need to make sure that you're rewriting each step so we don't make any mistakes. And I'm putting those parentheses around them because I haven't finished using them yet. Okay, so after my exponent, I'm done with that, but I have addition and multiplication. Multiplication always comes before addition, so I'm going to multiply that together. 2 times 5 is 10. Once again, bringing everything down. Oops. Okay, finishing out my parentheses, 9 plus 10 is 19. Okay, I don't need to leave the parentheses on there anymore because I've completed doing all my operations in there. So I'm going to do 25 minus 19, and that leaves me with 6, and that is my solution. The last type of problem you're going to see on your quiz is when we use these expressions. And the expressions are algebraic. We have 2 variables. And they're going to give you what the variables are, and you're going to have to use substitution. So it says evaluate, which means to solve, each expression if a equals 2 and b equals 7. So I'm going to substitute 2 in for a, so I have 2 squared, plus 2 times b, which is 7. Remember, 2b means 2 times b. Once again, we're continuing to use an order of operations. So I'm going to use my exponent first because I have exponent, addition, and multiplication. We have to make sure we take care of that exponent first. So 2 squared once again means 2 times 2, which is 4. So I have 4 plus 2 times 7. Now I have addition and multiplication. Multiplication is going to come first according to order of operations. 2 times 7 is 14. Okay, and my last step is to add. 4 plus 14 is 18, and that's my solution. Okay, so once again, make sure you understand everything I just went over. You can always pause, rewind, go over another example again. There's many examples in your book that we have not gone over. If you're looking through your book, that would be a great idea. So I hope this helped you, and good luck on the quiz tomorrow.